What's up, Nail Geeks, and welcome back to another Lurid Lacquer video. I have a massive, delicious, meaty post for you all today, including a duo, including a re-release collection from the Advent that went out 2 months ago at this point, and also the winter collection. Before we get into the lurid stuff, I just want to make a quick blanket statement. Stay tuned. I have so many videos for you all this month. I initially meant to take November, Black Friday month, all that kind of thing. I know there's a ton of sales in the indie nail polish community right now. And I initially was like, I'm not gonna, I just feel like every November, every year, I'm just kind of like, okay, it's not gonna be that bad. And then I'm like, oh, this is fine. This is totally fine. And it just kind of happened anyway. So I just want to just blanket statement, stay tuned for this entire month. I apologize if you are one of the ones that have hit the bell that you want to get notifications for my videos. I do apologize. You're probably going to be having that go off a ton. And depending on when I get things scheduled, I'm also doing my blog sale this week because I like to torment myself, I guess, but I have so much going on that I might have to post more than once each day. But rest assured, we have a lot of beautiful stuff to check out. So just blanket statement over right there. You are here for Lurid Lacquer, and I don't blame you. We have some beautiful pretties and some very meaningful things. So I'm going to split up this video. Essentially, you'll see it in my timestamps that we're going to start off with one of the more recent releases. That half of this duo dropped November 1st. I'm talking about the Cracked Polish Lurid Lacquer collaboration. This is a cheers to the cozy season. Like we're here. Some of you may laugh, but we have a cool front going right now. And I know you can't see out the window here, but we are pretty much in the 70s here. So for us in the South, that is incredible. It's amazing. That to me feels like fall. And I know we don't typically get it until, like the first week of November, but whatever. The duo itself between these two, Monique and Karen, made a polish after a wine of their choosing, their favorite. And we have a fantastic duo. I know a lot of you watching this video right now, you're like, Trish, we already seen it. It went live on Cracked Polish's website several days ago, November 1st. But we have the other part of the duo going up with Lurid Lacquer's release for this big giant launch. So there is a set number of sets for that duo. The two of them just kicked serious ass with this duo. It's gorgeous. We have that duo. I also have swatches of the Ascents of Foreboding Part 1. This was the advent calendar that went up for pre-order. I want to say like the last week of August. It might have been the first week of September, somewhere around there. This advent was released. It was a Halloween advent, which I freaking loved. It was such a pleasure to open up. It sucks because I kept the box. I kept everything intact because I was going to face record. I face recorded for it. And then like a dummy, I recorded that like 2 or 3 weeks ago, just so I could show everybody the box, things like that. I had everything ready to go. And then that's old. And I'm re-recording the face part. So unfortunately, I don't have to show you the box. All that to say, but it was a beautiful box. It came with this, super cute Halloween paper. It came with this adorable story card that Karen wrote. And then each of the polishes had a little cardboard box that was labeled for which day you should open up your Advent polish. Now, this Advent calendar was 10 polishes, and there is one polish that was basically a gift with purchase type situation. So I have one of the 4 of those to live swatch for you all so we can check that out. Such a fun concept. The beauty of it is that there was a specific number of those advents released during that, pre-order, for lack of better words. Those sets did sell out, of course. We're not surprised, but thankfully we can purchase the polishes individually during this launch. So without speaking on Karen's behalf, because these are not my words and I will not ever try to tread on somebody's emotions, feelings, things like that, but also trying to, respect a potential trigger warning type thing. This collection is inspired after a poem that Karen wrote based off of the first holiday without her brother, her sibling. So we have those to check out. It's a beautiful poem. Just a trigger warning for some of the names of the polishes that they go on each of the words in the poem. One of them is a charity polish to mental health. And if you wanted to get more information and hear Karen's beautiful words, and she's just so very talented and just, I guess that's the one thing that really just moved me about this brand, is that just her writing just resonates with me, for lack of better words. So if you wanted to read her thoughts on it, it is on her Instagram. And I believe it's also on the website too. I'll have to double check that, but it'll be on there too if you want to read her words on the inspiration behind this collection. So we're going to do that. And then we are going to do the Will It Topper segment. And then we're going to talk about the sale information. I'm so excited to show these off to you all. So without further ado, let's dive right in. We're going to start this off with the Cheers to the Cozy Season Duo between Cracked and Lurid Lacquer. The second half of the batch is going to go live on Lurid Lacquer's website for this launch too. French 75 is Cracked Polish's contribution. This is described as a chic gray polish with an opulent gold and orange shimmer. This has a wonderful formula. As I previously mentioned on the last, I believe it was my Little Box of Horrors video for last month, I mentioned that was my first impression of this brand, and I was thoroughly blown away by how smooth and silky the formula is as a whole. And this is no exception. We have a wonderful creamy type of formula. I chose to take it up to 3 coats to minimize any potential streaking on my nails. I do have massive wide load nails, so I chose that 3rd coat to kind of give me that extra coverage. If you have smaller nails than myself, you might be able to get away with 2 coats. It will dry down on the flat side, so be sure to use a good glossy top coat. Pinot Noir is Lurid's contribution. This one's described as a plum reddish base with a dazzling array of red, orange, gold shimmer and micro holographic flakes. We have a jelly-ish type of formula, but it builds up to a fantastic opacity on the nail. I'm going to suggest between 2 to 3 coats, your preference on that. I, again, huge ass nails here, chose to take it up to 3 coats to give me that extra coverage, and it was chef's kiss. So this one, I'm a little bit on the fence with. I personally like to wear finishes like this that have so much flaky shimmer action. I want more on my nails, the most I could possibly get. So I don't know. I feel like across the board, 3 thin coats is going to be best, depending on your nail length, of course. It did dry down very flat, so I used my regular glossy top coat, but I had no issues with texture or anything like that. And then here we have the master collage for the Unshakeable Sense of Foreboding Part 1. These are the polishes that were in the Advent. First is an Inexplicable Impulse. This is a medium blue base with large particle Aurora shimmer that shifts green to purple and finished with silver light reflective glitter. This is a very jelly, squishy type of formula, and the glitters were beautifully suspended throughout the bottle. So I gave my bottles a regular shake with my hand, as opposed to my Vortexer for those heavier types of polishes and pigments. This one easily stayed throughout the bottle, so no need for fishing or anything like that. So wonderful, fantastic formula. This is beautiful on the sparkle and glow factor. It's almost like icicles on your nails. It is very, very pretty. I'm going to suggest going in with a glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat, and 2 to 3 coats, your preference. Forbidden Path, speaking of beautiful glittery polishes, this is a cool purple base with Aurora shimmer that shifts from pink to orange, and it's got silver light reflective glitter. If you have been enjoying Lurid's purple so far, this is another one you're going to want to put on your list. It also has that heavy type of reflective glitter finish that we just saw on the previous polish. So my statement, use the texture on each of your coats to adhere the next coat, is going to apply here. In retrospect, I probably could have stopped at 2 coats, but I did go up for an almost informal thin 3rd coat. So I think it's opaque at 2 coats, but your preference and of course the size of your nails. You will need a glitter smoother with this one to smooth it out. Darkened Trail is a deep teal base with Aurora shimmer that shifts from purple to pink, and it has silver light reflective glitter. This is an interesting type of finish. I so love these types of almost teal type of polishes where the shimmer is kind of in the same color family, but it still contrasts really well against the base color. Darkened Trail does have a lighter formula than, say, the previous two glitter bombs, so I'm going to suggest 3 thin coats to build it up. It behaves like a jelly, so if you want that really obvious contrast between the base and the shimmer, I think that 3rd thin coat is necessary. You'll also need to go in with a glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat to smooth it out, and you're going to get that wonderful strong shimmer effect. This one does have a purple flip over at angles, like what you see on my macro shot here. It's not the most obvious, but it is definitely there in shaded light. Unsettling Susurrations is a lightly tinted pink jelly base with large particle Aurora shimmer that shifts from green to blue to purple and silver light reflective glitter. This is one of my top picks in the set. I've got a couple of them. I mean, this is one of my favorite brands for this year, but this is definitely up there on my favorites. This is so dainty and I don't know, it leans a little bit like a nude against my skin tone, but the shimmer and the sparkle is just so strong. It is very pretty and bold while also being light and delicate, if that makes sense. It's very jelly-like, so I'm going to suggest very thin coats, 3 of them, a glitter smoothing top coat, and a glossy top coat. Distant Footsteps is a black jelly base with iridescent flakes that shift from green to blue with hints of pink and purple. It's got holographic flakies and silver light reflective glitter. This is a deep, vampy type of flaky finish. It is very jelly-like in how it builds up. You can see as I'm going between my coats here that I'm going in really thin and I'm kind of overworking it with the texture of the reflective glitter to make sure that I'm almost like layering down a decent foundation on each of my coats. So I chose to do it thin. You could probably do 2 normal coats if you have less wide nails, but again, your preference and how you polish all that good stuff. This will also leave you very textured, so use a glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat to smooth everything out. I really liked how deep that base color of the black pops, and then you can obviously see that green to blue shift of the flakes. Prickling Fear is a raspberry pink jelly base with Aurora shimmer that shifts from blue to purple and silver light reflective glitter. This is incredibly glowy in person, and it's got a very heavy opaque type of formula. I'm going to suggest between 2 to 3 coats, your preference. This is one of those polishes that I think you will hit opacity at the 2nd coat, but if you want that more intense type of base, that berry color to come out, you might want to go in for a very, very thin coat on that 3rd coat. Otherwise, yeah, I think you're good at 2 coats. So go in with a glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat, as this will dry down very textured and thirsty and smooth it all out. The glow is so good on this. It is just loud and in your face, and you can kind of see that berryish type base in the background. It is truly lovely. An Unseen Presence is a black base with multichrome magnetic pigment that shifts from orange to gold to green, black to red to orange multichrome flakes, and it's got silver light reflective glitter. So we have a polish that is a magnetic finish from this brand. I think this is, I dare say, the first magnetic finish we've seen thus far in the releases. It has a very viscous, rich, thick formula to it. So I'm going to suggest, again, like any other reflective glitter finish, use the texture to your advantage. Now, when you weren't unmagnetized, it is perfectly fine on its own. I think it's very flattering, and it's got this almost earthy type of glow, easy shift between that copper brassy appearance over to a gold with green at the most extreme angles. Now, when you magnetize it, it looks like this. The backdrop takes on a black appearance. I do apologize about not capturing it on video, but you can see it here on my photos. For brevity and the sake of trying to be on time at my posts, please refer to my pictures for the accuracy of the magnetic effect. Inescapable Doom is a saturated with black to red multichrome flakes and red light reflective glitter. We have another jelly type of formula, but it is very heavy and viscous in application. With that said, I'm going to suggest 2 coats for opacity. I went in very thin on the first coat, and then I did what's normal for myself on the second coat. You will need a glitter smoother and a glossy top coat in order to make this look like that nice jello-like appearance. Anything past 2 coats, in my opinion, is overkill on this one. Enveloping Darkness is a clear base packed with black to red multichrome flakes and black light reflective glitter. We have a flake bomb, and I dare say, and you'll see this on the Will It Topper segment, this one you can maybe, and I say that so loosely, maybe use this one as a very dense type of topper if you go in super light, like I'm talking almost dry brushing it onto a base color. But wearing it as it's intended on its own, I'm going to suggest 2 coats. Now, I know on the video you're seeing me take it up to 3 coats. Honestly, I wanted to see what that 3rd coat would look like. It's habit for me to go up to 3 coats, and this was one of the few that I kind of regretted it. I should have stopped at 2 coats. You will need a glitter smoother and a glossy top coat. This one will dry down very, very textured and gritty. So just smooth out all of those black flakes and glitters, and you'll get this delicious red cast at angles. Unearthly Silence is a lightly tinted gray base with vibrant red to orange aurora shimmer and silver light reflective glitter. This is another one of my top picks in the set, and it is just lovely. I don't know. The way Lurid does the lighter colors with the silver reflective glitter, it just looks like almost like twinkling fairies or something on your nails. It is very pretty. On Unearthly Silence, I'm going to suggest 3 coats on this one. It has a lighter type of formula, and you just want to slowly build it up, with the caveat that it is a softer type of finish. So I honestly think that 2 normal coats on shorter, less wide nails might work too. Your preference there. This will easily shift between that peachy look and that pinkish look. Whispered Lore is one of the 4 gift with purchases. There's 3 others you can grab, and you can see them on the site. This one is described as a muted purple jelly base with large particle green to purple aurora shimmer and silver light reflective glitter. So we have another jelly type of finish going on here. I really liked how this one built up though. I so enjoy a good contrast. And honestly, a lot of these flake bombs in this collection have that. And you can easily see that green shift from the flakes against that purple base. This is another one that I think will hit opacity at 2 normal coats. But again, out of habit, I took it up to 3 thin coats. Your preference there on how you want to wear it. Just be mindful that you don't build your nails up too thick, because again, you'll need that glitter smoothing top coat and glossy top coat to seal it up and get it nice and smooth and even against your nail surface. And here we have the Waiting for Someone Who Never Comes collection. This is an 8-piece set, and it's got a very cool toned wintry type vibe, which I'm very much here for. So starting off is Frost on the Windowpanes. This is a warm beige base with brown light reflective glitter and aurora shimmer that shifts subtly from indigo to red. This is another one of those softer types of finishes, very much like Unearthly Silence, and I'm here for it. I really like this type of look. It's like a very blinged out neutral. Against my skin tone, it took on more of that true neutral type appearance. So I think that base color will gently, like really subtly play up against your undertones personally. But what's mostly going to appear on your nails and also give you that true opacity is going to be the shimmer. So it's a softer type of finish. I think 2 to 3 coats is perfect. Again, glitter smoothing top coat and glossy top coat is your best friend here too, and you're good to go. It was really interesting how the brown light reflective glitter almost took on this bronzy appearance. Cold Endless Dark of Winter is a charcoal gray base with aurora shimmer that shifts from a silvery lilac to teal, holographic flakes, and light reflective glitter with a multicolor twinkle. This is another one of my top picks out of this release. It's got a very chrome looking appearance to it, and it's got a very rich, smooth formula. I think 2 coats across the board is perfect. Now, it's not gritty per se in how it dries down, but it is very thirsty. glossy. So I would still suggest a light coat of glitter smoother just to help your glossy top coat gloss this up. There is a fantastic greenish type of cast at Angles. I Await Your Arrival is another one of my top picks. This is a rich cobalt base with a warm blue aurora shimmer that shifts purple with bronze light reflective glitter. This is another very rich, dense type of formula. I think 2 to 3 coats is perfect. Now, with that said, I chose to take it, I guess at this point, I learned my lesson and I stopped at 2 coats and it was delightful. If you choose to go up to 3 coats, but it's because you're stubborn like me, just go very thin. Now, you'll want to also use a glitter smoother and glossy top coat. I'm going to keep repeating myself here, broken record, because this one also has a lot of texture. Where Are You, Brother is a clear base packed with large particle shimmer that shifts from baby blue to purple and light reflective glitter with a multicolor twinkle. This one is one of the charity polishes. $3 from each bottle sold of Where Are You, Brother is going to go to NAMI, which is the National Alliance on Mental Illness. This is my #1 pick in the entire video. This is stunning. It's very unique. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. And it's just magical. 2 to 3 coats is all you need. I think this will double really well as a topper too. It's going to give you quite a bit of texture and a bit of grit from those glitters. So use, again, you know the drill at this point, but it is so ridiculously sparkly and intense and in your face. If you could only pick one, grab this one. The Sorrow of Your Empty Seat is a cool-toned taupe base packed with glowy large particle shimmer that shifts from blue to purple and pink at the most extreme angles. Another soft type of finish going on here. This is mostly a shimmer bomb, and it's what I would describe as being a somewhat amped up neutral, in that the shimmer is quite strong, but that base color to me is what I would consider almost a nude to some skin tones. Against myself, it does pop very neutral, but not so nude to me. It's just very neutral. It's got a creamy, smooth formula. I'm going to suggest 3 super light coats and a glossy top coat. Your Absence at the Table is a cool-toned brown base with blue to purple aurora shimmer. This is another one that has a softer type of buildup to it. And what's going to give you the full opacity, again, is the shimmer. This is loaded with it. It is very, very pretty. And that base color will deepen like a true jelly finish, regardless whether you wear it at 2 or 3 coats. So with that said, your preference there, of course, you know the drill. I'm going to take it up to 3 coats for demonstration purposes. And on this one, this is how I would wear it in real life too. So 3 coats, it will deepen out that base color, maximize that shimmer power, and it is just so very glowy. No texture or anything, but you will, again, want to finish with a glossy top coat. I Grieve You Every Time I Remember is a rich navy base with Aurora Microflake shimmer that shifts from blue to purple. This is a very dense type of formula and another one that I chose to stop at the 2nd coat. I went in normal for myself on the 1st and 2nd coats, and you can see just how strong it popped on the opacity there. So 2 coats. This will also dry down very, very flat. So use a plumping, maybe gel-like glossy top coat, or if you don't have a thicker glossy top coat, again, my caveat applies here. A glitter smoother will also do you well too. You just want to amp up the gloss factor to your top coat. And Waiting for Someone Who Never Comes is another one of my top picks in this release. This is a dusty medium purple base with Aurora shimmer that shifts from aqua to blue, and it's got silver light reflective glitter. This is really interesting. It's one of those polishes that when I saw the bottle, I expected it to look a certain way on my nails, but when I applied it, I was like, well, this is why we have swatches, because it didn't look like how I expected it. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's so glowy good. There is a bit of this, I don't know, it's definitely this bluish aqua-ish looking color, but it's aqua at some angles. It's quite shifty to say the least. It's a soft type of buildup. So use 3 light coats, a glitter smoothing top coat, and a glossy top coat. And then as a quick bonus, I have the October's colors of the month. These were gifted to me from Karen because she is so incredibly sweet. This first one is Chest Demons. It's described as a blackened maroon base with large particle silvery pink shimmer that has a green wink at the most extreme angles. This is lovely, vampy, good. Now, it is opaque at 2 coats. I didn't see a need to go to a 3rd coat, and it wasn't so jelly that it's going to be a drastic difference between the 2nd and 3rd coat. So your preference on that, but I thought it was perfect here. And it dried down flat, but not textured. So any glossy top coat is perfect. And then here is my favorite spooky bitch's favorite spooky bitch. This is a blackened maroon base, that name, with Aurora Microflake shimmer that shifts green to blue with purple at the most extreme angles. This one is similar to Chest Demons in that it does have that jelly type of feel to it. I do think it has a more true type of jelly vibe to it. So I chose to be a little experimental. I thought it was great at 2 coats, but I wanted to see the difference for the 3rd. Is it necessary? Maybe. I think you're still going to have opacity at the 2nd coat, but I think that 3rd coat is going to have that base color be more deeper, darker, and more pronounced. And then Vixen is a blackened maroon base with fine particle Aurora shimmer that shifts purple to pink to red. This is lush. It is so freaking pretty. It's almost this pearly type of effect as you build it up to opacity. It is wonderfully dense and smooth. I'm going to suggest 2 coats, maybe 3 if you are rocking super long claws. But personally, even with my big ass nails, I really didn't see a need to go up to a 3rd coat. So 2 normal creamy coats is perfect. Just be mindful of your brush strokes because it is so pearly. You want to minimize any potential streaking. I didn't think it was super problematic or anything like that, that a lighter hand works best. And we're going to wrap this up with the Willet Topper segment. This is where I use a black swatch stick to demonstrate if polishes have layering capabilities. So we know the drill. We've got lots of shimmers and they're pretty much all going to work very well. French 75 to me is the only outlier, of course, because it's too creamy and crelly. And then, of course, all of these glitters in here, they're just fantastic. They all layer very, very well. Even something like Forbidden Path that is quite opaque, more so just in your face than some of these other ones. But I think they all work pretty well over black, but they're all very tinted. So I don't know, your choice on that. Some of these that have in their descriptions a clear base, these are the ones that you're really going to want to be able to play up with against really any type of base color, cream, what have you. So just throwing that out there. I think most of these do have some type of tint though. I'm thinking enveloping darkness, just looking at my PR notes here. Some of these other ones say that they have a lightly tinted base. So anyways, you can absolutely play up with that. That applies to pretty much the rest of the polishes in this set. So I will go into story time since I don't really have much else to say outside of repeating myself. And we'll do part 2 of story time for my PPU video. The little tuxedo cat is doing well. He is on, yes, it's a little boy. He's on, I believe it's day 7 or day 8 at this point of his antibiotic. And he's doing great. He has finished his deworming medication. And in fact, him and Chai are both going to the vet this afternoon. Those of you who are following along on my blog posts, I promise I'm working on the blog still. But as for the kitties, I will happily post a picture, probably on Instagram, so y'all can see what the weirdo looks like. We have decided to name him. Yes, we're keeping him. His name is Elminster, after the wizard in Dungeons and Dragons. So of course he had to have some type of nerdy name, and he's a goofball. We keep saying that he looks like he's constantly surprised, and he looks like a human trapped in a cat's body. So a wizard that can't figure out how to de-spell. Gosh, some of these look so amazing over black, these last couple here. Drop a comment below and let me know which ones are your favorites for this restock. I know we're bouncing all over the place here. So this entire launch is going to go live on a capped pre-order Friday, November 8th at 6 p.m. Central Time, and it's going to run until Friday, November 15th at 11:59 p.m. Central Time. And those of you who are new to Lurid Lacquer, if you are new to this brand in general, capped pre-order basically means that she has a specific amount of polishes poured per color. If that sells out, it sells out. Now, with that said, you will more than likely have one, if not many more chances to grab polishes that you're wanting. If you don't grab them during this launch, no one get mad or angry or upset. Karen's doing her best, and I always just wish her so much success. These polishes are beautiful. I will link you all below to Lurid Lacquer's website. If you want to get in there, you're able to make a wish list. You're also able to put in requests for things you'd like to come back, all that fun stuff. And the website's awesome. It's one of my favorite interfaces I've seen. So there's that. And then also don't forget too, we have another color of the month for November. These are Chef's Kiss. They're awesome. So that will be all on the website. You can check that out there. And I'll also link you to Lurid Lacquer's Instagram page where you can follow along with the brand, interact with Karen. She's on there posting and all that fun stuff. See what's restocking for this launch too, if you're curious. And I'll leave you with a little tidbit for those of you who actually follow along and listen to the entire video. This is a little epilogue, if you will, before I sign out, that look for something coming between me and this brand very soon. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Get hyped. Thank you so much for watching.